In 2014, according to the Guelph Humane Society statistics, 229 cats were reported missing. But later on, 3 of those missing pets were found mercilessly dismembered with no sign of what or who did it. Welcome to the Paranormal Post. I'm Clayton Morris. If you love true stories of the unexplained, then go ahead and smash that like button. It really helps us. And also subscribe to the channel. And there's one more little step that you can do, and that's to turn on the notification bell so you'll receive a notification when we publish a brand new video. Well, it seems like it's every week where we get a new report of someone missing. Those reports, as mysterious as they might be, are kind of boring to many people. The repeated nature of it seems to take from its enigma. But because those reports are about human beings, they get to have official documents and sometimes media coverage. But what about pets? When was the last time you ever heard about a pet going missing? And I'm not talking about those flyers and those pieces of paper with owner phone numbers written on them. I mean official reports and actual media coverage on television. Well, it seems like sometimes the stories run deeper than a cat losing its way back home or a dog that got stolen. In this video, I'll give you an idea about how mysterious pets vanishing can be. Let's start with the mysterious case of the Idaho Dog Vanishings. This goes back to 2013 and the disappearance of nearly 40 dogs from southern Idaho. It baffled authorities, and it raised concerns among animal control officers after dogs were found dead under mysterious circumstances, with one found with its head crushed in a suspected ritual killing. KPI television at the time reported nearly 40 dogs had been reported missing since November of 2012 in Twin Falls and nearby communities in Idaho. And it's an agricultural region in south central Idaho known as the Magic Valley. It's a beautiful area. The dogs that went missing were of varying sizes, varying breeds, and varying ages. Quote, the dogs seemed to vanish into thin air, according to Debbie Blackwood, the director of the animal shelter in Twin Falls, Idaho. She told Reuters that authorities grew even more concerned after a German Shepherd was found apparently stoned to death in March of 2013, not too far away. Blackwood then says the dog appeared to have suffered a ritualistic execution in which its head was crushed with a rock and its carcass then covered with a purple cloth. The case then prompted the Humane Society to offer a $5,000 reward for any information on the killing. But Blackwood told KPVI television that the German Shepherd was not the only dog found dead under mysterious circumstances at the time. Blackwood said there had been some found with their mouths duct-taped shut, and their teeth had been filed off so that they couldn't fight back, and they were used to train dogs as bait dogs. Now, it was unclear if that case was linked to the rash of dog disappearances. Dogs have been removed or released from private yards, unleashed from chains, or failed to return home. We've all been there. We've seen it. If you have a dog, you know how that goes. But Lisa Kaufman, the Idaho director of the Humane Society, said that animals go missing every day. What's disturbing about this trend is that there's absolutely no trace of them. She said they'd received multiple reports of dogs being lured into vehicles by an apparent stranger. John Goodwin, who is the head of animal cruelty policy for the Humane Society, said it was unlikely the dogs were stolen by people engaged in dogfighting, which is illegal in Idaho, because it was rare for those involved in the activity to use just any old dog. Twin Falls former spokesman Josh Palmer said that city officials consulted with the Humane Society and other animal rescue officials about these mysterious missing dogs. Meanwhile, authorities were asking residents to report any unusual activity, like the stalking of pets. Now, let's go to northern New York State in St. Lawrence County in the year 2015. A news release at the time said St. Lawrence County Sheriff's deputies would like to warn the public and seek their assistance after receiving multiple reports of missing dogs over the last few weeks. In fact, 15 had mysteriously vanished. The sheriff's office and the dog control officer, James McConkey, then received reports from Lisbon, Canton, Potsdam, Norwood, Norfolk, Massena, Brasher, with at least 10 different dogs being reported missing over the past 3 weeks alone. And anyone with information was then asked to call the sheriff's office or animal control officer James McConkey. McConkey said that officials were compiling a list of descriptions of the missing dogs and said the number confirmed missing was up to 15. But there was no credible leads. Deputies had certain vehicle descriptions they were investigating, but nothing much else to go on. He then warned the public to keep an eye on their own dogs and to report any information they may have. He said, if somebody sees something, don't confront people. Who knows what kind of harm they could cause? Let the police handle it. He said any information can help us at all. He also then added that dogs should not be left unattended in vehicles because Under Sheriff Scott Bono said a similar problem occurred several years before when this idea of people leaving dogs in cars and then people were stealing the dogs out of the cars. The logic behind the thefts then, he stated, was that the dogs were stolen and taken outside the region where they were sold as Christmas gifts. The undersheriff also pointed out that the dogs are especially friendly. They're more susceptible to abduction. Mr. McConkey also reported that within a week from beginning the investigation on a Monday night, there had been an attempted dog abduction in downtown Potsdam. And he said the owner of the two dogs heard one of them barking and in approaching to investigate, saw someone attempting to take her other dog. The person holding the dog dropped the animal, got in a car, and drove away with its headlights turned off. Officials said that a similar incident happened in February of 2015 in Norwood. He said the news release was issued after more people started insisting that their dogs had been abducted in the weeks following the massive panic outbreak. Mr. McConkey said that many of the dogs on the list are believed to have been stolen, because in most cases, missing dogs are found within a few hours or days, while many of the canines on the list have been missing for weeks or months. He said some of the most recent dogs are thought to be stolen or abducted because the insistence of the owners. He said, look, at some point, you just need to start believing these people. You need to start saying that these dogs don't just disappear. Something bigger was happening. Now to the Guelph cat disappearances of 2014. And Guelph police had received a number of complaints and were teaming up with the Guelph Humane Society on an investigation. Neither the organization suspected foul play at the time, but that view was not consistent with what many people in the neighborhood believed. Whether it's a coyote or a human or a combination of both responsible for the cats that were not coming back, residents report that as many as 25 different pets vanished in 2014 on the West End. The disappearance started to spike beginning in the spring of that same year, but the seemingly high number of missing cats had fomented misgivings about a human suspect, but it turns out the West Side is not alone with its vanishing kitty problem. In 2014, according to the Guelph Humane Society, 229 cats were reported missing throughout the city, a number that's way higher than in previous years. And just 16 of those 38 cats were reported missing in the Westwood area. So the agency was not overly concerned about the numbers, seeing them as not terribly out of the ordinary. But some residents reported that coyotes had been spotted in the area, particularly in green spaces along the railroad tracks. Others were convinced that a teenager was snatching up these pets and killing them. The Humane Society, however, believe the evidence of dismemberment is consistent with an animal attack. There have been 3 dismembered cats reported within the city, and 2 of those reported to police by citizens in the Westwood area. A cat's head was found on Oakland Avenue in the central part of the city. One West End resident posted a sign throughout the area warning cat owners of the danger of letting their pets outside, saying, quote, "This is not a safe neighborhood for cats to be outside unattended." It stated that someone may be abducting and dismembering these animals. Angela Alt said she posted the notice after one of her cats, she now has 4, went missing in October and uncharacteristically didn't come home. Then while out looking for King in the neighborhood, that's the cat's name, she learned a number of other cats were also missing from her neighbors, especially from a cooperative housing unit on Westwood. There were also mysterious concerns about an individual that was seen going on the property there and had been caught trying to take cats, Alt said. There's a suspicion about who's doing it, and she said to her knowledge, no one has witnessed anyone harming a cat. And then on Facebook dialogues, a number of people added fuel to the human responsibility theory, but the Humane Society believed these dismemberments were more likely an animal attack. In the world of the paranormal, dismembered animals are not uncommon, which makes it all the more mysterious. Were these coyotes, were these animals, or were they human beings involved in ritualistic killings? And what's eerie about this whole thing is that the pet abductions in both of these places ended just abruptly as they started. But instead of getting anywhere and getting any answers, authorities have more questions. Who and why would anyone want such a large number of house pets in such a rapid pace? Was it really the case of ritualistic killings, or was it a disturbed individual seeking attention? These questions and much more will remain unanswered in these neighborhoods. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, never miss one of our paranormal videos, and share it with someone who can crack open this case. Let me know in the comments, what do you think actually happened? We'll see you next time.